Hello and welcome to another episode of Tea with Miss Nupe, the one and only show where we delve into the profound intersections of life, humanity, God, law and order, relationships, and several other social issues. Tonight, we will explore a topic that is so profound and often heart-wrenching, and the topic is the impact of wrongful convictions. Yes, we are going to look at how this miscarriage of justice usually affects individuals, families, and the broader society, and also discuss what can be done to prevent them. Wrongful convictions are a devastating reality within our criminal justice system. When an innocent person is found guilty of a crime they didn't commit, the consequences are far-reaching. Not only does it destroy the life of the wrongfully convicted individual, but it also leaves a ripple effect on their families, the actual victims, and the integrity of the judicial system itself. Let's start by discussing some cases of victims who were wrongfully convicted but later on exonerated due to the good taste of some pro bono human rights lawyers. Let's look at the case of Yabuache. In 2018, he was wrongfully convicted of robbery and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. It was our very own lawyer Martin Pebu who took up this case on pro bono. He argued that the conviction was based on insufficient evidence. The court actually had to review the case and found several inconsistencies in the prosecution's evidence, and this was what led to Boache's release. So imagine if somebody did not do this for Boache and the effect it had on his family. It was very devastating. Another case is that of Samuel Owusu. In 2019, Samuel Owusu was also convicted of murder and sentenced to death. The same lawyer, Martin Pebu, argued that Owusu's confession was obtained under duress and without legal representation. After a thorough review and new evidences that emerged, including testimonies disproving of the prosecution's claims, Owusu was acquitted and finally released. Imagine if this was not done. This person was sentenced to death. Imagine the consequences on the family. There is also the case of Isaac Owusu in 2020. Isaac Owusu was actually convicted of armed robbery and also sentenced to life imprisonment. It was lawyer Hassan Ayariga who provided the financial and legal support for a retrial. The retrial revealed that critical evidence was mishandled and key witnesses were not credible. Owusu was acquitted and released after spending several years in prison. These are some of the issues we are discussing. The impact is having, putting innocent people behind bars for crimes they did not commit. These convictions usually leave several families with their breadwinners being in jail, and so they are unable to provide. It goes as far as affecting their children. The future of their children becomes so bleak with no hope of a better future. The stigma that is even in the society that these children will be ridiculed, telling them their parents are criminals, when in fact is still roaming about, and the one who is not guilty is the one languishing in jail. Wrongful conviction is not something that only has an effect on the criminal justice system of the country, but actually on the individuals and their families, particularly their children. So let's look at some of the ways that we can help exonerate the wrongfully convicted people. Now, one major thing is legal representation. You need legal representation to be able to help somebody who has been wrongfully convicted or somebody who is on trial. Individuals who have been wrongfully convicted can also be exonerated through appeals and retrials. We need to support them. We need to get a lot of human rights lawyers who take up such cases voluntarily. They should visit the prison, get them, listen to their cases, and take up these cases and go on an appeal and retrial these cases, and these people will be released or acquitted. Let's also use a lot of public and media advocacy. Public campaigns and media attention helps to bring awareness to wrongful convictions, putting pressure on the legal system to reevaluate these cases. We need to make use of social media, advocacy a lot, and talk about these cases so that it will be well looked at and these innocent people will be set free. One of the things I would really advocate for is serious judicial review. We need the higher courts to review the lower court's decision. Sometimes it results in overturning wrongful convictions based on legal and procedural errors. We've all seen time without number that most of these wrongful convictions are mostly from the lower courts. So we need the higher courts to actually do serious judicial review the cases often, And maybe what can help in this review is when we engage in a lot of advocacy about some of these cases. Having said all this, let's look at some of the systematic issues that leads to wrongful conviction. I believe that having shared some of these cases and also told you what has to be done to help these wrongfully convicted people, you can clearly see that these wrongful convictions often stem from systematic issues such as prosecutorial misconduct, inadequate defense, mistaken eyewitness identification, and sometimes flawed forensic science. These issues underscore the need for comprehensive reforms within our criminal justice system. Our criminal justice system has to be reformed because the broader impact of wrongful conviction extends beyond individuals directly involved, as I initially stated. Families are torn apart, and the true perpetrators of crimes often remain free, potentially committing more and more crimes, which would affect other people. Another impact is the fact that public trust in the legal system has completely eroded. It makes it harder to achieve justice for all, and that's what people think. So sometimes, even when the right thing is done, people do not believe it because there's no trust in the criminal justice system. There's also the issue of economic cost. It is taxpayers' money that is being used to take care of these prisoners. Imagine the number of wrongful convicted individuals we have in prison, and it is our money that is being used, taxpayers' money. So we need to ensure that the right things are done, and the ones who are the true criminals are the ones in prison. So we don't put so much burden on our taxes, on our funds, because the prisons are even overcrowded. That is even another issue for another day. The great news aside all of this is that there are numerous organizations working tirelessly to address wrongful convictions, but we can all play a role in advocating for change. This includes supporting policy reforms, educating ourselves and others about the flaws in the criminal justice system, not bearing false witness, and also advocating for better legal representation for those who cannot afford it. I'll conclude by saying that it's crucial to remember that wrongful convictions are not just a legal issue, but a profound human rights issue. Every wrongful conviction represents a failure of our justice system and a call for agent reform. I'll call on you all to ensure that we continue to raise awareness, support those affected, and push for a justice system that really upholds the principles of fairness and truth. My beautiful blazer, again, is from Dear Essence. They offer stunning corporate outfits. Look at this blazer for your office. You would be looking stunning in it. And also, for very classy and all your bougie events, you will get your outfits from them. Please contact them on 0261 417902 for such beautiful blazers as mine. Thank you for joining us today on Tea with Miss Nupe. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time.